For the second week in a row, Carlton has scored more points in the first quarter than they have for the rest of the game, and here is exactly why. And to understand this, we're going to focus on two very specific things. One, their proactive defenders, and two, their ability to use their forward handball to create really good inside 50s. And then how both of those things just fall off massively in the second half. Straight away out of this contest, we'll see that West Coast use a forward handball right here, but I want you to focus on the Carlton defenders. But look at Fantasia force the spilled ball by coming proactively at the football. We then see Hewitt come in proactively towards the contest, creating the contest, getting the football out for themselves. When your defenders are moving towards the football, you get numbers out the back like this where Haynes and Carroll are coming at the football. They're going towards your goal. So you can get things like this where Carroll actually has a little bit of time with ball in hand, where he's able to actually hit up a target inside forward 50. When the ball spills in front of the leading forward, all of your players are running towards the goal, which means you get clean crumbing like that. And even a big man like DeConing can go back and kick a goal. That is wonderful, proactive defending. Look at the work that Carroll does here. So this is Carroll's man here. But I want you to look at the ground he covers to force this contest here. So Liam Baker wants to give the handball here. But Carroll's decision to come at the football forces Liam Baker to do a double take because he wants to give this handball here. But he can't because Carroll's decided to come and defend towards the football. It forces Baker to do a double take and allows Cincotta to chase him down, run down tackle, you get a forward half turnover. So that's great from Carroll, but it's not just him. In this exact same play, look at the work that Fogarty and McGovern does here. So usually we see teams defend from the forward 50 and back. McGovern does a really good job at actively going at the football here, proactively defending forward. Force the spilled ball, you force the turnover. But again, because Fogarty has pressed towards the goals, has pressed defensively forward, he's now in a perfect position to take this handball receive and you go through and you kick an easy goal. That is great proactive defending that is leading to scores. Now, the next thing I want to focus on is the forward handball. So look at this. We're so used to seeing Carlton blaze away, but look at them instead here. Take the forward handball, take the game on, take the tackler on. This is usually the kick where we see Carlton kick the ball long and high to no one. But instead of doing that, look, he takes a double take. He uses the forward handball. Again, we're using the forward handball. We're running in waves. We're using the forward handball, and now you get a really good forward 50 entry. That is something that we don't see often from Carlton, but in the last couple of weeks, especially in the first quarter, they've been doing it really, really well. Here is another perfect example. So Hewitt's going to get this football. He doesn't at this point blaze away. He uses a forward handball. Again here, Fogarty doesn't blaze away, uses the forward handball. Motlop has every right here to blaze away, and we usually see that from Carlton. But look at the double take he takes to get the ball out, use another forward handball to McGovern. Has so much space in front of him. He can kick the goal if he wants. But because they've used the forward handball to find this much space, to force an overlap, now McGovern has so much time to make a really good decision. So he can weigh up whether he wants to go for goal, or like he does here, he can weigh up and kick to the open man right here, and now you get a really good shot at goal. That is great Carlton ball movement. That is what we like to see from Carlton. We just don't see it often enough throughout a whole 4 quarters. So that's all the good stuff. That's the first quarter. Now, what is happening in the second half, and why is it happening? We saw in the first quarter how proactive the Carlton defenders were, but I just want you to look at some of the defensive efforts here. So this is a poor kick in, it's a spilled ball, and Carlton's only defender who shows a bit of urgency to get in the face of the West Coast forwards is Carroll. Hollands, and I want you to look at Saad. Carroll's the one who makes the initial contest here, but he's also the only one that forces any pressure here. Saad, that was your man. Come at the football. In the first quarter, we saw the Carlton defenders actually come at the football. He said, Sarge, you're 6 meters off. That's the lack of urgency. And against a good team, they're going to take that mark. They're going to use that inside 50. You're lucky you get away with it on this occasion. But when you play against the good teams, when you don't have that urgency, and it's really just little things like this. So, okay, you get beaten in the air, but you can't get beaten at ground level as well. Chera, where are you going? Your man is Tim Kelly. Why are you standing 4 meters off the back of the contest? Around the footy, West Coast are going to win this ball. So now Tim Kelly's got time and space, because Chera's gone to the back of the contest instead of coming at the football. Now you've got time and space. Now you get the feedback handball. Motlop, why are you behind your man? The only blokes that are really trying out here seem to be Carroll and Lord. Hard to see, but you can't give away this sort of clean possession inside your defensive 50. You've got to be more urgent in defence. Maybe it's because you're winning. Maybe it's because you're tired. Imagine that effort against the likes of Collingwood or Geelong or any other teams that are going to really punish you, because when you don't have that level of effort and urgency, they're going to kick goal after goal after goal when they go inside forward 50 if you deliver that sort of effort and urgency. When Carlton looked really dangerous in that first quarter, it was when they were giving the forward handball, when they were creating an overlap, forcing the West Coast defenders on the back foot. But we get the mark here. Why are we not giving the handball? This is your overlap position right here. If McGovern just turns and gives this handball, now you can create the overlap because you've got a 3-on-1 here. Your forwards are going to have time to make genuine leads. These guys are going to have time and space to make a really good decision going forward. Now, the McGovern kick here isn't a bad kick. And realistically, Chincotta should mark this. But it's putting your teammate under unnecessary pressure. And if you turn the ball over in this spot on the ground, when you have a 4-on-1 against a good team, they're going to go straight through the middle of the ground, go up the other end and kick a goal. So when you have the option to give the forward handball like McGovern did there, and it's worked so well, it's when you've looked your most dangerous, why would you not give it? And instead, it just seems like there's no urgency. There's no desire to create those options. There's no want to get that overlap run going. Instead, we just play boring, long up the line, really easy to defend football against a not very good team. And I think that's what Carlton fans are finding really frustrating, is the difference between their best and their worst is so big. But whether it's an issue of complacency or whether it's a fitness issue or a skill issue, or I don't know what it is, that fourth quarter football is not going to be competitive against the best teams in the league. You're going to get away with it against a team like West Coast or like North Melbourne next week. But if you play a Collingwood or you play a Geelong or you play a Brisbane or you play a GWS or an Adelaide or a Hawthorn, those teams are going to pounce on those opportunities. And realistically, if you want to be any good, if you want to be a finals contender, if you want to be in the premiership talks like you should be with a list like that, those are the teams that you're going to have to beat. You're not going to have the luxury of versing West Coast week 1 of the finals. You're going to have to play a genuinely good team. And if you play the football like you played in the first quarter, you'll have a chance. But if you can't play that for a whole 4 quarters, you're going to get smashed.